After 10 years lost in the farthest reaches of space, humanity's greatest starship returned, and nothing, no force in the galaxy could stand against it. If you love this epic journey, don't forget to subscribe and join us for more amazing stories of courage, adventure, and the incredible power of humanity. A massive human starship, the Perseverance, slowly lifted from the surface of Earth, its metal hull shining brightly under the sun. Crowds of people gathered in awe, cheering and waving as the ship prepared to leave for a mission that would last 10 years. Inside the ship, the crew moved with careful precision, checking systems, running simulations, and making sure every detail was perfect. Scientists in crisp white uniforms studied charts and data screens. Engineers tightened bolts and calibrated engines, while pilots ran through flight sequences in the simulator pods. Every person aboard knew the mission was dangerous, but each also felt a deep pride in being part of something historic. The families of the crew watched from observation decks and broadcasts, tears mixed with smiles as they waved goodbye. Children held on to their parents' hands, whispering hopes for the safety and success of the crew. The ship's commander, a tall and calm figure, walked down the central corridor, greeting each team member, offering reassurance and reminding everyone of the mission's purpose. Humanity had dreamed of this moment for decades, sending a fully manned starship to explore the outer edges of known space. As the countdown began, the engines hummed with growing intensity. Vibrations traveled through the hull as systems came online one by one. The ship's artificial intelligence ran diagnostics, confirming that navigation, life support, and defense systems were all operational. Outside, massive screens displayed the ship's trajectory, and news anchors narrated the historic event live for billions across the globe. There was a sense that this was not just a mission, but a symbol of humanity's determination, courage, and unity. The final seconds ticked down, and then the engines flared, lifting the lil. The Perseverance slowly from the ground. The crowd erupted in cheers. Fireworks launched into the sky, and voices shouted encouragements. The ship ascended higher and higher, leaving a trail of light against the blue atmosphere. Satellites and drones captured every angle, broadcasting it across every continent. The people watching felt a mixture of awe and fear, knowing that this was humanity venturing into the unknown, something that had never been attempted before. Inside the ship, the crew felt the pull of gravity loosening as the vessel rose, floating gently once it reached orbit. Windows revealed the shrinking view of Earth, oceans and continents blending into a single blue and green marble. The crew members exchanged looks of excitement and nervousness. This was the beginning of a journey that would test their skills, their courage, and their ability to work together. Every crew member carried memories of home, friends, and family, but also carried the weight of responsibility for the entire species. As the ship left Earth's orbit, it began to accelerate towards the wormhole that would carry it into deep space. Navigation officers monitored the course, making fine adjustments, ensuring that the trajectory would be smooth, even through areas of unpredictable cosmic turbulence. Engineers checked engine outputs and energy levels, while scientists reviewed the mission's objectives. Confirming that their experiments, observations, and data collection could begin as soon as the ship entered uncharted space, communication with Earth remained constant, though the distance would soon make direct contact more limited. The crew sent final messages to loved ones. Some simple greetings, others filled with emotions too complex to describe fully. As the wormhole approached, the ship's exterior shimmered with the energy of the spatial transition. The crew braced themselves, knowing that what awaited beyond was completely unknown, humanity's first true step into the galaxy's edge. Every member of the crew felt a sense of history being made, a story they would one day tell. Some whispered promises to themselves about discoveries, about surviving dangers, and about returning home. Others simply stared out of windows, watching Earth fade slowly into the distance, realizing that they were carrying not just themselves, but the hopes, dreams, and courage of an entire species. The engines roared once more as the ship aligned perfectly with the wormhole entrance, and with a brilliant flash, the Perseverance disappeared from sight, leaving Earth behind, beginning the 10-year journey into the mysteries of the cosmos. The excitement, fear, and anticipation inside the ship mingled, forming a quiet determination. This was only the beginning. the first step into the unknown. And humanity's resilience and ingenuity would be tested like never before. Yet everyone aboard knew that no matter what came next, they represented the spirit of an entire planet. Bold, curious, and unyielding, ready to explore, ready to survive, and ready to return as heroes. The human starship, the Perseverance, drifted into the vast unknown of space, leaving familiar stars and planets behind. Every system on board was running perfectly. But the crew knew that deep space held surprises no simulation could predict. Scientists stared at glowing screens showing strange cosmic phenomena, some bending the rules of physics, while engineers adjusted instruments to measure energy fluctuations that no one had ever recorded. Pilots practiced maneuvers in zero gravity, their hands steady on controls as they prepared for situations beyond imagination. The ship soon entered a region where space seemed alive, swirling clouds of gas pulsing with colors that shifted constantly. The crew was fascinated, taking notes, photographing, and analyzing every detail. Suddenly, a wave of gravitational energy rippled across the ship, causing a brief moment of unease, but the humans adapted quickly, recalibrating their systems and navigating through the turbulence with precision. It became clear that survival in these uncharted regions required more than technology. It required creativity, intuition, and teamwork. One day, a strange energy storm appeared on the ship's sensors. Bright arcs of lightning crackled through the vacuum, a phenomenon no human had ever seen before. The crew debated whether to avoid it or study it. Finally, the commander decided they would pass through the edge of the storm. Observing it up close could give humanity knowledge no other species possessed. As they maneuvered carefully, the ship's shields flared with light, protecting them from the unpredictable forces. Crew members held their breath, watching in awe as the storm danced across their viewing panels. The days blended together as the ship traveled deeper, passing stars, nebulas, and asteroid belts. Each celestial object seemed to challenge their understanding of the universe. The scientists recorded data on strange magnetic fields, energy pulses, and shifting gravitational waves. Engineers designed new instruments, while pilots tested unconventional flight paths. Every obstacle became a lesson, and every lesson made the crew stronger. They began to feel that humans had a natural ability to adapt, to survive where others might fail. Communication with Earth grew slower as the ship moved farther away, but it did not discourage the crew. Instead, they focused on exploring new frontiers. Often, they would gather in the observation deck, staring out at the endless void, discussing theories about alien life, the formation of galaxies, and what other wonders might await them. Despite the isolation, the crew's morale remained high, bonded by shared experiences and the thrill of discovery. They realized that while space was immense and mysterious, human curiosity and determination made them fearless. One night, the ship encountered a gravity well unlike anything they had anticipated. The pull twisted time and space around them, causing instruments to fluctuate and alarms to sound. Engineers worked frantically to stabilize the ship. Pilots executed maneuvers that tested their skill and nerves. For hours, the crew battled the invisible forces, but eventually, through careful calculation and daring decisions, they emerged safely on the other side. The experience taught them the first of many lessons. No matter how dangerous the universe seemed, humans could think, adapt, and overcome. During long stretches of travel, the crew also experimented with ways to enhance the ship, integrating small alien devices they had encountered in abandoned stations or scanned remotely. The engineers fused human technology with alien concepts, creating stronger shields, faster engines, and more sensitive sensors. Every improvement increased their confidence, and slowly, the humans aboard the Bliss. The Perseverance began to feel that they were not just explorers. They were becoming masters of their environment. Months turned into years, and every day brought a new challenge. Some were natural, like radiation belts and unstable star clusters. Others were unknown phenomena that defied explanation. Each time, the crew adapted, learning to predict patterns and react quickly. They became a team that trusted one another completely, understanding that survival in the deepest reaches of space depended on collaboration, courage, and clever thinking. By the time the ship had traveled halfway to its farthest point, the humans had proven to themselves that no matter what the universe threw at them, they could face it, endure it, and grow stronger. The beauty and danger of the unknown universe filled the crew with both awe and determination. Every new discovery sparked curiosity. Every obstacle challenged their ingenuity. They began to see themselves not just as passengers of the cosmos, but as its active participants, capable of shaping their destiny. Each day on the Perseverance strengthened their skills, their minds, and their resolve, preparing them for encounters and challenges even greater than anything they had imagined. Humans were no longer merely observers. They were explorers, pioneers, and survivors, ready to face whatever the galaxy held. After years of traveling through uncharted space, the human starship the Perseverance detected something unusual on its long-range scanners. A massive fleet of alien vessels appeared, unlike anything humans had encountered before. Their ships were sleek, dark, and pulsating with energy, moving in perfect formation as if controlled by a single mind. The crew immediately went on alert. Every instrument in the ship buzzed with readings, and alarms warned of approaching objects. The commander gathered the crew in the central operations room. Calm but firm, he reminded everyone to stay focused. The scientists tried to analyze the alien fleet, but their technology was completely different, emitting energy signatures that human instruments could barely interpret. Pilots ran simulations, preparing for evasive maneuvers and defensive actions. Despite the fear, the crew remained composed, knowing that panic would only make mistakes more likely. As the Perseverance approached the alien fleet, they observed the ship's behavior. The aliens did not attack immediately. Instead, they monitored the human ship carefully, sending out probes and scanning waves. The humans realized that the aliens were evaluating them, testing their capabilities from a distance. This was the first time humanity encountered an intelligent species with power far beyond anything on Earth, and it became clear that diplomacy and strategy would be as important as technology. The scientists worked quickly to understand the alien communications. Using a combination of mathematics, patterns, and signals analysis, they discovered that the aliens were curious but cautious, treating humans like a minor experiment rather than an immediate threat. The commander decided to send a message, a simple greeting in universal mathematical code. Showing that humans were intelligent, capable, and willing to communicate. Hours passed with no response. Then, one of the alien ships shifted closer, its hull shimmering with energy, creating a visual display that was both beautiful and intimidating. The humans watched in awe as the aliens demonstrated their power without a word. It was a silent warning. The galaxy was not unguarded, and humans were now on the radar of a species far more advanced. Instead of being scared, the crew of the Perseverance grew determined. They began running tests and simulations, predicting possible movements and strategies of the alien fleet. Engineers modified the ship's shields and navigation systems to adapt to the unknown energy patterns emitted by the aliens. Pilots practiced high-speed maneuvers that would allow the ship to slip through enemy formations. The humans relied on their creativity and teamwork, understanding that flexibility and intelligence were their greatest weapons. Days turned into weeks as humans and aliens circled each other, each side observing and learning. The alien fleet maintained a distance, never attacking, but making it clear that any wrong move could trigger a response. The humans realized that their strength lay not in brute force, but in ingenuity, and they carefully tested limits, pushing their technology and strategies further without provoking the aliens. During this time, the crew discovered strange anomalies in space near the alien ships, energy currents that could be used for faster navigation or defense. They experimented, carefully integrating these discoveries into the ship's systems. Slowly, the Perseverance became faster, smarter, and more resilient. The crew's confidence grew. They began to see themselves not as prey, but as equals in cunning and adaptability. One day, a small alien scout ship approached directly, moving slowly, almost as if inviting the humans to respond. The crew prepared for any situation, but instead of attacking, the scout transmitted complex geometric patterns, a form of language the humans had never encountered. The scientists analyzed the patterns for hours, finding logic and structure, realizing that this species communicated through shapes, vibrations, and energy fields. It was a revelation, showing that intelligence could take forms far different from humanity's own. The encounter transformed the crew's perspective. They understood that the universe was vast and full of powerful beings, but it also offered opportunities for learning and growth. Humanity's resilience, curiosity, and ability to adapt allowed them to survive encounters that others might have feared. The Perseverance became not just a ship, but a symbol of human determination, moving boldly among the stars, ready for challenges, and proving that even in the face of overwhelming power, cleverness and courage could make humans a force to be reckoned with. Every crew member felt the weight of history and responsibility, knowing that first contact could define humanity's place in the galaxy. Yet they also felt pride, realizing that they could face the unknown with skill and bravery. The alien fleet remained a silent, mysterious presence, but humans were no longer intimidated. They were explorers, thinkers, and survivors, ready to navigate the mysteries of space, learning and adapting with every encounter. Showing that even in a galaxy dominated by advanced species, human ingenuity could shine brightly. The crew of the Perseverance continued their journey through the unknown regions of space. Every day brought new challenges, and the ship itself became a laboratory for human ingenuity. Engineers and scientists worked side by side, experimenting with technologies they had never used before. They studied energy fields, strange cosmic rays, and the remnants of alien machines found in abandoned outposts. Combining human creativity with alien knowledge, they began to enhance the ship in ways that were once thought impossible. One morning, the science team discovered a cluster of alien devices floating near a dead star. The equipment emitted low pulses of energy, and no human had ever seen anything like it. The engineers carefully transported the devices aboard the Perseverance, examining each component and testing its potential. They learned how to integrate alien energy sources into their own systems, increasing the ship's speed, durability, and efficiency. The crew felt excitement building as they realized that human skill combined with alien technology could make them stronger than any known force in the galaxy. Meanwhile, the pilots trained tirelessly, learning how to navigate through extreme cosmic phenomena. Some regions of space twisted time and gravity in ways that could trap or destroy ships. The humans studied patterns, practiced maneuvers, and developed strategies that no alien species had ever considered. They learned to anticipate dangers before they appeared, relying on intuition, experience, and quick thinking. Every successful maneuver boosted the crew's confidence, showing that humans could adapt to anything. During these trials, the scientists also experimented with weapon systems, not for aggression, but for defense. They used energy harvested from cosmic storms to power shields, plasma cannons, and energy nets. Each new system was tested in simulations first, then in controlled space tests. The humans quickly learned that clever application of knowledge and resourcefulness often mattered more than raw power. They could outthink threats that were far larger or stronger, and the ship became a symbol of that ingenuity. The crew faced constant challenges from the universe itself. Strange energy surges would appear without warning, pulling the ship in unpredictable directions. Meteors and debris fields required split-second decisions to avoid catastrophic collisions. Yet the humans adapted, working together as a single, efficient team. Engineers modified shields and engines in real time. Pilots executed complex flight patterns, and scientists monitored energy readings to predict the next anomaly. Each challenge became a lesson in survival and creativity. As months passed, the ship grew more advanced, incorporating alien innovations and human designs. Systems that once required constant attention now ran automatically, powered by energy fields humans had learned to harness. The crew continued to explore, discovering phenomena that no human eyes had ever seen before. From glowing nebulae with swirling magnetic storms to black holes emitting strange radiation patterns, everything became an opportunity to learn, improve, and prepare for whatever lay ahead. The human crew also began experimenting with ways to communicate with potential alien species, using a mix of sound, light, and energy pulses. They tested different methods to send messages across long distances, hoping that if they encountered others, they could share knowledge instead of immediately fighting. The experiments were sometimes risky, but each attempt taught them more about the universe and their own capabilities. The humans aboard the Perseverance felt themselves growing stronger, wiser, and more confident with every passing day. Even in isolation, the crew maintained morale through shared experiences. Storytelling, games, and discussions kept spirits high. They celebrated each small success and learned from every mistake. The bond between crew members became unbreakable, forged in the challenges of deep space. It was clear that humanity's greatest strength was not just technology, but the teamwork, courage, and adaptability of its people. By the time the ship had traveled far beyond known space, the Perseverance was more than a vessel. It was a demonstration of human potential, a combination of knowledge, innovation, and bravery, capable of surviving where others might fail. The crew had transformed every obstacle into an opportunity. Every trial had strengthened the ship and its people, preparing them for even greater encounters. The humans aboard knew that no matter what alien power or cosmic force they faced next, their ingenuity and determination would allow them to succeed. The experience taught them that survival in space was about thinking, adapting, and never giving up. Every system they improved, every strategy they devised, and every danger they overcame proved that humanity could endure anything. The journey of the Perseverance had made them pioneers, explorers, and problem solvers, ready to face the unknown, ready to challenge the universe, and ready to show that cleverness, courage, and cooperation were more powerful than any force. Years passed as the Perseverance continued its journey through the silent, endless reaches of space. The humans aboard had faced countless dangers and strange phenomena, but they had grown stronger with each challenge. Time stretched differently in the vast emptiness, and the crew felt both the loneliness and the freedom of traveling so far from home. Communication with Earth became slower and more difficult, messages taking days or weeks to travel across the void. Yet the crew remained focused, knowing that their mission was larger than themselves, and every observation and discovery could shape humanity's future. During the long months, the humans perfected their skills and their ship. Integrating alien technology into human systems had created a vessel capable of incredible feats. The engines could maneuver through extreme gravitational fields, the shields could withstand immense energy surges, and the sensors could detect even the faintest anomalies in space. The crew trained constantly, practicing maneuvers, simulations, and emergency protocols. Each day reinforced the idea that adaptability and intelligence were the true weapons of survival. Isolation also brought reflection. The crew spent hours watching stars and distant galaxies, thinking about home, Earth, and everything they had left behind. They shared memories of families, old friends, and childhood dreams. Their conversations often turned philosophical, about the place of humanity in the universe and what it meant to explore the unknown. These moments of quiet strengthened their bonds, and each member understood that survival depended not only on skill, but also on trust, cooperation, and unity. Strange cosmic events continued to test their limits. Energy storms would erupt without warning, bending light and matter. Black holes and neutron stars created invisible traps that could easily destroy unprepared ships. But humans adapted quickly. Using creativity, data analysis, and intuition, they learned to predict patterns, harness energy from storms, and navigate treacherous regions safely. Each success reminded them that human ingenuity could rival the forces of nature, and no obstacle was insurmountable if approached with intelligence and teamwork. The crew also spent time conducting experiments, collecting data from cosmic phenomena, and testing new technologies. Some experiments involved harnessing energy from pulsars, others focused on studying dark matter and gravitational waves. Every discovery added to humanity's understanding of the universe, and every improvement on the ship made it stronger, faster, and more resilient. The humans aboard realized that their mission was not just exploration, but also preparation, equipping themselves with knowledge and technology that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. Even in the silence of deep space, the crew faced personal challenges. Homesickness, doubts, and the stress of isolation were constant companions. Yet they supported each other, forming a community stronger than any on Earth. They celebrated small victories, shared jokes, and kept each other motivated during the long stretches of routine travel. These bonds of trust and friendship became their true strength, allowing them to face dangers that might have broken a less united crew. One of the greatest lessons of these years was patience. Humans learned to observe, wait, and act only when necessary. They became masters of strategy, understanding that a single impulsive move in space could be catastrophic. The careful combination of patience, intelligence, and action became a hallmark of the crew, allowing them to turn potentially deadly situations into opportunities for learning and advancement. As the years went on, the humans began to feel a growing confidence. They realized that the galaxy was vast, full of dangers, but also full of opportunities. Humanity had adapted to every challenge, and every experience had made them stronger, smarter, and more capable. The crew felt that nothing in the universe could overwhelm them as long as they remained united, innovative, and courageous. Through it all, hope for returning home remained a guiding force. The thought of Earth, their families, and the world that awaited them kept morale high. Even as isolation stretched on, the crew knew that their journey was building something far greater than exploration alone. It was building human capability, resilience, and legend. By the time the Perseverance had traveled halfway across the unknown regions, the humans aboard had become something new. More than explorers, more than scientists, more than a crew, they had become a symbol of humanity itself. Their experiences had shown that even in the darkest, most dangerous corners of the universe, human ingenuity, courage, and unity could thrive. Every obstacle, every challenge, and every discovery had prepared them for the moment they would finally return, stronger than when they had left, ready to show the galaxy that humanity could not be underestimated. The Perseverance began its long journey back toward Earth, its engines humming steadily as it glided through the dark, empty stretches of space. The crew felt a mixture of excitement and tension, knowing that their return would not be as simple as leaving home. Reports from distant systems suggested that alien factions, previously unaware or uninterested in humanity, had begun to notice their presence. These fleets, powerful and well-armed, now moved to intercept. Believing that humans could be a threat, the crew of the Perseverance did not panic. Instead, they studied the approaching fleets carefully, analyzing movement patterns, energy emissions, and communication signals. Engineers adjusted shields and weapons to counter new types of energy attacks. Pilots rehearsed maneuvers that relied on precision and timing rather than brute force. Every member of the crew understood that surviving this return journey required both strategy and courage. As the alien fleets drew closer, small skirmishes tested the humans' skills. Probes and scout ships approached, attempting to block or slow the Starship. The humans responded with calculated maneuvers, slipping through defenses that seemed impossible to bypass. The alien commanders, confident in their numbers and firepower, were astonished. Humans moved unpredictably, using tactics that no species had ever employed against them. Their creativity and adaptability allowed them to avoid direct confrontation while still gathering critical intelligence. The science team worked on new innovations to enhance the ship's capabilities. Using energy collected from nearby stars and cosmic anomalies, they improved shield strength, engine efficiency, and sensor range. Engineers adapted alien energy weapons for defensive purposes, allowing the ship to counter multiple attacks simultaneously. The combination of human ingenuity and alien technology turned the Perseverance into a vessel that could outrun, outthink, and outmaneuver even the largest fleets. Throughout the journey, the crew maintained constant vigilance, watching for ambushes, energy traps, or unexpected cosmic hazards. Pilots adjusted flight paths to exploit gravitational anomalies, using slingshots and currents to increase speed or evade enemies. Scientists monitored energy patterns from alien ships, finding weaknesses and predicting fleet movements. Each successful tactic reinforced the crew's confidence, proving that intelligence and coordination could overcome superior numbers. One critical encounter tested every skill the crew had developed. A massive alien fleet appeared directly in their path, surrounding them on all sides. The humans did not attempt a head-on fight. Instead, they executed a series of precise maneuvers, using space anomalies and advanced navigation to slip through gaps in the formation. The alien forces were unable to predict or counter the movements. Frustration and confusion spread through their ranks as humans passed safely through. During quieter moments, the crew reflected on how far they had come. Months of preparation, years of exploration, and countless challenges had transformed them. from a group of explorers into a coordinated, innovative force capable of facing the galaxy's most dangerous species. Their confidence was rooted not in arrogance, but in preparation, teamwork, and the knowledge that their adaptability was unmatched. The journey also tested their endurance. Isolation, fatigue, and stress weighed heavily. Yet the crew remained focused, relying on routines, communication, and mutual support to maintain morale. They celebrated small victories, sharing laughter and stories, keeping their humanity alive despite the pressures of space. Every success reminded them that their strength was not just technology, but the people aboard the ship, united by experience and trust. As the Perseverance approached the final leg of its return, the alien fleets grew desperate, sending increasingly aggressive attacks. But the humans anticipated each move, using speed, energy manipulation, and careful strategy to evade destruction. Every attempt to intercept the ship failed, demonstrating that raw power alone could not match human creativity and determination. The crew realized that their journey had proven something greater than survival. It had shown that humanity could challenge and outthink even the most advanced forces in the galaxy. Finally, as Earth drew closer on the horizon, the crew felt a sense of triumph. The obstacles of the journey had tested every skill, but they had succeeded. The ship had proven capable of facing the unknown and returning stronger than ever. The humans aboard, the Perseverance, were no longer just travelers. They were pioneers, warriors of intellect and courage, ready to share their discoveries. Their journey through hostile space had prepared them to take humanity to a new era of strength and confidence. Each crew member knew that the return was only the beginning, that Earth would see a species transformed by experience, technology, and wisdom. The story of their journey would inspire future generations, showing that no force, no matter how mighty, could challenge a united, intelligent, and determined humanity. And as the Perseverance accelerated toward home, the crew felt the thrill of achievement, ready to enter the galaxy as true masters of their destiny. After 10 long years, the Perseverance finally emerged from the depths of space, its sleek hull gleaming as it entered Earth's orbit. The crew gazed out of the observation windows, seeing their home planet for the first time in a decade. Oceans, continents, and clouds stretched beneath them, a beautiful marble of blue and green. The sight brought a wave of emotion, relief, pride, and anticipation all mixed together. They had survived the unknown, adapted, and returned stronger than ever. From Earth, billions watched as the massive ship appeared on the horizon. News broadcasts interrupted daily programming, showing the approach of the legendary vessel. People cheered in cities, towns, and villages, their excitement and curiosity palpable. Many had followed the mission from the very beginning, tracking the ship's progress and speculating about what the crew had discovered. Now, the humans who had ventured into the unknown were about to return, bringing stories, knowledge, and new technologies. Inside the ship, the crew prepared for docking. Systems ran checks, shields adjusted for atmospheric entry, and communications were open to Earth's space authorities. Engineers monitored every gauge, ensuring a smooth arrival. Pilots practiced final maneuvers, calculating angles and trajectories with precision. The commander walked through the corridors, greeting crew members, sharing quiet moments of pride and acknowledgement. Everyone felt the weight of history on their shoulders, knowing that their return would mark a turning point for humanity. As the ship descended toward Earth, alien species that had once ignored humans now watched with curiosity and concern. Word of humanity's capabilities had spread, and fleets that once considered humans insignificant were now cautious. Some attempted to intercept or challenge the approaching vessel, but their efforts were futile. The humans aboard. The Perseverance had become masters of strategy, technology, and adaptability. Able to navigate threats with unmatched skill and precision, their journey had transformed them into a force no one could underestimate. The approach to Earth's orbit was met with ceremonial displays from satellites, space stations, and orbital fleets. Lights flashed, signals transmitted, and drones captured every angle of the ship. The people on the ground could see the humans returning as something more than explorers. They had become pioneers, innovators, and symbols of human potential. Every city erupted in celebration as the vessel drew closer. The excitement was not just for the safe return, but for the promise of what humanity could achieve next. Inside the ship, the crew shared quiet reflections. Each member thought of the years of travel, the dangers faced, and the discoveries made. They had encountered phenomena no human had ever seen, survived situations that could have ended in disaster, and learned to adapt to the most extreme conditions in the galaxy. Their skills, teamwork, and courage had been tested and proven. Now, they were returning not just as explorers, but as ambassadors of human ingenuity and resilience. The final approach to the docking station required precision. The ship's enhanced engines and shields, improved during years of experimentation, allowed them to glide smoothly into position. Pilots executed the maneuvers flawlessly, guided by both instruments and experience. Earth's observers held their breath as the massive vessel aligned perfectly. Then, with a controlled descent, the Perseverance docked safely, and a cheer erupted both inside and outside the ship. Humanity had returned, triumphant and transformed. The first steps on Earth were met with applause, news coverage, and personal reunions. Families embraced returning crew members. Tears, laughter, and stories flowed freely. Every member of the crew carried experiences that would shape the future of human exploration. They shared accounts of strange galaxies, energy storms, alien encounters, and technological breakthroughs. Their knowledge promised to accelerate human advancement, opening new doors in science, engineering, and space travel. Governments and space organizations recognized the magnitude of the achievement. Humanity was no longer just a planet-bound species, but a formidable presence in the galaxy. Not through numbers or violence, but through intellect, courage, and creativity. The story of the Perseverance's journey spread across every continent, inspiring scientists, engineers, students, and dreamers alike. It became a symbol of human potential, proving that determination and ingenuity could overcome the unknown and the impossible. As the crew settled back into life on Earth, they began to plan for the future, sharing technologies and strategies that would prepare humanity for whatever challenges lay ahead. The Perseverance and its journey had shown that no force, alien or natural, could stand against the combination of human intelligence, adaptability, and teamwork. The experience had transformed both the crew and humanity as a whole, demonstrating that exploration, courage, and resilience were the keys to surviving and thriving in the vast universe. The world watched, inspired, and amazed as humans returned from the edge of the unknown. A species once limited to a single planet had proven it could venture into the stars, face unimaginable dangers, and return stronger, wiser, and ready to lead. The crew of the Perseverance had become legends, and humanity itself had entered a new era, one defined by courage, discovery, and the unyielding spirit of exploration. The Perseverance had docked safely, and the crew stepped onto Earth with hearts full of pride and minds buzzing with memories of the journey. Every step felt surreal after 10 years of traveling through the unknown. The planet they had left as explorers now seemed smaller and brighter, alive with anticipation. Crowds cheered, news cameras captured every moment, and world leaders awaited their report. The humans who had left as a small team now returned as legends, symbols of determination, courage, and ingenuity. The crew immediately shared their discoveries, explaining the strange phenomena they had encountered. From energy storms that twisted time to gravity wells that bent reality, every experience was documented. The scientists presented alien technologies they had studied, showing innovations that could revolutionize energy, transportation, and communication on Earth. Engineers demonstrated new propulsion and shield systems, while pilots recounted daring maneuvers that had allowed them to survive impossible situations. Humanity listened, amazed at the scale of the achievement, realizing that their species had grown far beyond what anyone had imagined. The stories of encounters with alien species captured everyone's attention. Some fleets had ignored humans, others had attempted to challenge them. Yet through intelligence, strategy, and adaptability, humans had proven they could survive and even outthink powerful opponents. The world saw that the journey was not just about exploration, but about resilience, courage, and the ability to turn knowledge into power. Children and adults alike were inspired, dreaming of the stars, realizing that humanity could be more than earthbound, that the universe itself could become a place of possibility for them. The commander addressed the gathered crowds, speaking with humility and pride. He emphasized that the mission had succeeded because every crew member had worked together, trusting each other, sharing knowledge, and facing danger with courage. He reminded everyone that humanity's strength lay not just in technology, but in unity, curiosity, and the determination to overcome challenges. His words resonated across continents, motivating scientists, explorers, and ordinary people to strive for excellence, to never fear the unknown, and to believe in the potential of human ingenuity. As the world celebrated, the crew also began preparing for the next steps. Knowledge and technology from the mission had opened doors to new possibilities. Advanced engines could take humans farther. Energy systems could power cities sustainably, and defensive technologies could protect against threats from space. Governments and organizations worked to integrate these discoveries, turning what had been the achievements of a single ship into benefits for all of humanity. The journey of the Perseverance had become the foundation for a new era, where humans could look to the stars not as distant observers, but as active participants in the galaxy. Despite the attention and celebration, the crew remained grounded, remembering the challenges they had faced. The long months of isolation, dangerous cosmic phenomena, and encounters with alien fleets had taught them humility, patience, and the value of preparation. They shared these lessons with the world, emphasizing that curiosity, persistence, and cooperation were more important than fear or aggression. Humanity's future depended not on domination, but on learning, exploring, and adapting to every challenge that arose. Stories of heroism and clever thinking spread quickly, becoming examples for schools, universities, and training programs. Young minds studied how the crew had used strategy, science, and teamwork to overcome impossible odds. They learned that intelligence, creativity, and courage were tools more powerful than weapons or sheer force. Humanity had demonstrated that it could face the unknown, survive, and thrive, and the lessons of the Perseverance's journey would guide generations to come. The ship itself became a symbol, its hull preserved, its systems studied and replicated, inspiring engineers and innovators. The Perseverance was no longer just a vessel. It was a testament to human potential, showing that even the most dangerous and mysterious corners of the galaxy could be explored, understood, and respected. The crew's legacy was cemented, not only in technology and science, but in the spirit of adventure, resilience, and cooperation that defined humanity. As humanity looked to the future, plans were already underway for new missions, deeper into space. Using the experience gained from the Perseverance, humans prepared to reach further, to encounter new civilizations, and to continue proving that no force, no matter how vast or powerful, could challenge their ingenuity and determination. The story of the 10-year journey became a reminder that courage, curiosity, and unity could overcome the greatest obstacles, and that the human spirit was capable of transforming the impossible into reality. In the quiet moments after the celebrations, the crew gathered once more, looking up at the stars they had traveled among. They reflected on the wonders they had seen, the dangers they had survived, and the knowledge they had gained. They smiled, knowing that humanity had entered a new era, one defined by exploration, discovery, and the unshakable belief that no matter what the universe held, humans would face it with courage, intelligence, and an unbreakable spirit, ready to venture farther than ever before, and to show that no force could ever challenge them.